I've been making exclusively Blue Lock content on my channel for the past 2 months, and with that, my channel has grown over 1,000 subs because of it. And since my 1-year anniversary on this app is coming up, I thought that I'd answer a few questions that you guys left me personally down below in the comment section for a video. And I'm going to quickly leave a spoiler warning for the Blue Lock manga, and if you are not caught up to the latest chapters of the NEL, being chapter 249 as I'm writing this, I would suggest clicking off this video now because there will be spoilers mentioned. Also, because this is my 1-year anniversary video, I'm going to do something a little bit different, so I'm going to be right back real quick. Hey, what's up? For those who haven't seen my face on TikTok, this is what I look like. I don't know how you were expecting me to look, but yep, this is me. Now I wanted to switch to this style of video just for this video alone to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who has subbed, liked, viewed, commented, anything to support my channel that you guys have done. Thank you. I've been wanting to do content creation since I was a kid, and now to this point in my life, I really think that I have a good shot at it. And without you guys, that wouldn't be possible, so thank you. And you probably clicked on this video to hear my thoughts on Shido versus Rin, but there are a couple other questions that people asked of me, so I'm gonna have them as well. So if you want to know like where each question is, instead of skipping through the video, here are all of the timestamps up, well, not here on top of me, probably like over here or over here. I don't know where I'm gonna put myself in the video, but it's going to be next to me, so if you want to go to a specific question, go to the timestamp there. But now on to the first question from @gspot_ says, I know this might seem kind of a basic question, but if you were in Blue Lock, what would your primary weapon be and what would be your formula? And then they give Isagi's formula as an example. Now this is not a basic question at all, and I kind of do like it. Now for those who don't know, I used to play soccer as a kid, and I was pretty fast. I wasn't incredibly fast, but I was pretty damn fast. Now I used to play as a left winger because I could run and I like to shoot from the left side. That might be why Chigiri is my favorite character, because he is incredibly fast, and now he plays left wing. Of course, I'm not as good as Chigiri, but you get the point. So if I was able to choose my weapon, it would probably be something akin to Zantetsu's explosive acceleration or just Chigiri's speed. I've always enjoyed running, and when I was first introduced to this series via the anime coming out, when I saw those two characters match up, I just thought it was super cool to see. And it honestly made me want to start running again and playing the game, so yeah, I gotta say, explosive acceleration is probably my primary weapon. As for my formula, I probably would also have a golden zone. Now when I used to play soccer, I used to practice my shooting by placing myself around the box and just shooting from a specific side to find where I could shoot from perfectly and accurately. And it turns out that my perfect spot for shooting was just outside of the box, 1 foot out from the left corner. So I would probably have to say that my formula for scoring would probably be the exact same thing as Chigiri's, except replacing his speed with Zantetsu's explosive acceleration. So yeah, if you think your question was basic, my answer was more basic. Then the next question comes from @MaxMoon4138, who asks, question, what countries do you think that Japan will play against in the U20 World Cup? If you can go in depth about the players playing in each countries, I can kind of go a little into depth, but I will make a whole separate video on that if need be. When it comes to the countries that I want to see Japan face off against, there's 3 that come to mind, being Italy, Germany, and Spain. Bado's experience at the Italian Stardom with Snuffy, I could really see them matching up against each other in a World Cup match, and I think it would be really cool now that Snuffy is basically rescinding his retirement because of Bado, and if not Snuffy, at least Bado versus Lorenzo, considering Lorenzo was one of the only players who could ever make a chemical reaction with Bado. So that alone, I think would be super entertaining to see. When it comes to Spain in the World Cup, that's mostly because of the club invitation that Kaiser got in the new Egoist League. Having Sai and Kaiser on the exact same team, 2 new Gen 11 players, would be insanely cool to see on a team, and would also be a super good matchup with Isagi and Rin on a team versus Sai and Kaiser. Considering Sai would be Rin's matchup and Kaiser would be Isagi's, I think it'd be super cool to see, and it's not that far-fetched considering that we have Rin and Shido on the same team at PXG, and those two are probably some of the best strikers in Blue Lock. So whether he does or doesn't accept the invitation, that's a whole separate thing, but if he doesn't, I would really like to see them at least have a match against Kaiser in the World Cup, simply to show that Isagi is now either on the same level as Kaiser, or has surpassed him in some way or form. Then the next question comes from Goatbrook7138, who asks, when will the Blue Lock manga end? When it comes to Blue Lock ending, I could personally see the series ending within 5 to 8 years, maybe even 10. We still have 1 more match of the new Egoist League, which will probably end up being one of the longest matches, if not the longest match in the new Egoist League. And then after that, I think we're going to have our 23 players who survived the new Egoist League make 2 different teams to kind of practice formations against. Maybe that might take up maybe 10 to 15 chapters, somewhat similar to the 3rd selection, just a little bit more branched in order to form these formations. And then you have the U20 World Cup followed by the actual final World Cup. Now, given that a chapter releases once a week, with there being 52 weeks in a year, give it 10 break weeks for the mangaka, that's about 42 chapters per year. And if you multiply that by 5 to 8, that's 210 chapters to 336 chapters. And now that I'm saying that out loud, even that seems kind of short. So again, I could probably see even going up to 10 years. So I'm hoping for the series to go as long as possible, but realistically, I could see ending within 5 to 8 years. Then the next question comes from Rising Games 3237, who asks, what if Isagi devours Rin's Berserk mode and creates a Berserk metavision? Now, when referring to Berserk mode, I'm gonna assume you're referring to his flow state. And while I like the idea of Isagi devouring a skill from Rin, devouring his flow state just doesn't seem that probable or even practical for Isagi's current playstyle, nor do I even think it's possible. Because when you're looking at Rin's flow state, it's a completely different style than Rin's normal typical style of play, that being the Puppet Master style. I personally don't even think that Isagi is skilled enough to even try and emulate these skills that Rin displayed in the U20 match. Not to mention, that style of Rin's play kind of sort of goes against metavision altogether, as well as his more rational play style. Because ever since joining Bastard Munshin, Isagi has developed a more rational style of play. So creating and developing a whole new style that strives around inefficiency by stealing Rin's techniques, that just doesn't make the most amount of sense to me. Not to mention, I think metavision requires him to be moving rationally and thinking more practically, at least for it to function at its maximum percentage, so I think that trying to be more inefficient would just make metavision altogether worse. So while the what if does sound pretty damn cool, I don't think it's actually practical or even probable in the series. But now for the question you all have been waiting for, Ratbear Gaming 6861 asks, who's better, Shido or Rin? Now, when we're talking about strikers and being a striker, I personally think that Shido is better in that regard. However, I believe that Rin is the better player overall. See, what I don't think people understand is that the term striker simply is a way to say the top goal scorer, and that people who are not in the center forward position can still be a striker and be the world's best striker while still not playing in the center forward position. Now granted, the center forward is usually the striker because the striker usually doesn't help out on defense as much. However, when you look at Isagi in the new Egoist League, he's not playing forward or even center forward or left forward or right forward. He's playing a midfielder, and yet he has more goals than Kunigami, who is playing forward. Now, when you're looking at both of the characters and their skill sets, Shido is very offensive heavy, while Rin's is more balanced overall. I mean, when you look at it, Rin in the second selection took a headshot from Isagi's shot just to protect the goal, while Shido let Karasu beat him in the third selection. But when talking about being a striker and playing in the forward position, I believe that Rin is the better overall player, but Shido is just better in the offensive situations. Now, if you guys are wanting, I could do a more thorough breakdown of both of these characters in a Blue Lock matchup, but just for right now in this very, very broad explanation, I think that Shido is the better forward, while Rin is the better overall player. But that is all the questions I have for this Q&A video. I want to say again that I am incredibly grateful to everyone who has done everything for this channel, and I don't even have the words, or I can't even put into words like my thoughts of how happy I am to be doing this. But I can ask you guys this. For the question of the video, who is your favorite Blue Lock player? Short, simple, easy. Just leave me your thoughts down below. And like always, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe for more content just like this.